What if the biggest obstacle to your financial breakthrough isn't your salary, isn't the economy, and isn't even the opportunities you've been waiting for? What if it's something much closer than that? Let's look at 3 biblical principles that people often miss. Number 1. One of the hardest truths in Scripture is this: God often looks at how we manage what we already have before entrusting us with more. Jesus said in Luke 16:10, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." Notice what Jesus did not say. He did not say wealth comes only through prayer. He did not say increase comes only through miracles. He emphasized trustworthiness, faithfulness, stewardship. Many people pray for a financial breakthrough while ignoring financial discipline. They ask God for increase while wasting what they already have. That's a difficult truth, but it is an important one. Financial stagnation sometimes continues because certain habits keep draining resources. Ask yourself honestly, do I know exactly where my money goes every month? Do I spend impulsively? Am I living beyond my means? Am I creating unnecessary debt? Am I managing God's resources wisely? The Bible repeatedly teaches wisdom in handling resources. Proverbs speaks extensively about planning, diligence, saving, and avoiding reckless financial behavior. This doesn't mean every financial struggle is your fault. Some people face unemployment, economic hardship, medical expenses, unexpected emergencies. Those realities are real. But even in difficult circumstances, stewardship matters. A person earning little can still be faithful. A person facing hardship can still be wise. A person waiting for increase can still manage well. This week, take a financial inventory. Write down every source of income. Write down every expense. Identify unnecessary leaks. Sometimes stagnation begins breaking the moment clarity enters the picture. God often blesses what is carefully managed. Number 2. Many Christians pray for a financial breakthrough, and prayer is absolutely essential. But Scripture consistently connects prayer with action. In Proverbs 14:23 we read, "All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty." Notice the balance. Prayer matters, faith matters, trusting God matters, but effort matters too. Throughout the Bible, God often blesses the work of people's hands. When Isaac prospered, he sowed in the land. When Ruth needed provision, she went to glean in the fields. When Peter needed a miracle, he still had to cast a net. God's blessing frequently meets people in motion. This means if you've been financially stuck, ask yourself, am I developing valuable skills? Am I improving my education? Am I applying for opportunities consistently? Am I networking? Am I learning how to solve problems for others? Am I using the gifts God has given me? Many believers spend years praying for doors to open while ignoring opportunities to prepare. Preparation is often part of God's answer. Imagine praying for a better job while refusing to improve your skills, or praying for business growth while neglecting customer service, or praying for promotion while consistently arriving late. Prayer is powerful, but prayer is not a substitute for responsibility. The Bible teaches both dependence on God and diligence in work. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord." That verse transforms ordinary work into worship. Your effort matters. Your attitude matters. Your consistency matters. Sometimes financial stagnation begins, breaking when believers stop waiting passively and start acting faithfully. Pray, then work. Trust God, then prepare. Ask for opportunities, then pursue them diligently. Number 3. Practice generosity without expecting instant riches. This principle is often misunderstood. Some teachings suggest that if you give money today, you'll automatically become wealthy tomorrow. That is not what Scripture promises. However, the Bible does teach that generosity positions the heart in a powerful way. Proverbs 11:25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Generosity combats fear. It breaks the mindset of scarcity. It reminds us that God is ultimately our provider. Notice something important. Generosity is not limited to wealthy people. Even people with limited resources can be generous. Generosity may involve helping someone in need, supporting ministry, giving your time, sharing knowledge, encouraging others, Meeting practical needs. The early church was known for remarkable generosity. Believers shared resources, supported one another, helped the vulnerable, and through that culture, communities were strengthened. Now let's be realistic. Generosity does not guarantee immediate financial increase. You may give today and not see financial change tomorrow, but generosity develops trust in God. It cultivates gratitude. It protects the heart from greed, and often opens relational and practical opportunities that selfishness never could. Many successful people testify that generosity transformed not just their finances but their entire outlook on life. When believers become channels rather than reservoirs, something changes internally. Fear loses its grip, trust grows stronger, and faith becomes active. Let's pause for an important clarification. Many Christians define breakthrough only as receiving more money, but biblical breakthrough is often broader. Sometimes breakthrough is finally getting out of debt, finding stable employment, learning financial discipline, avoiding a costly mistake, receiving wisdom for a business decision, gaining contentment, building healthy financial habits, developing a skill that increases future income. God's provision does not always arrive as a sudden windfall. Sometimes it arrives as wisdom, sometimes as opportunity, sometimes as discipline, sometimes as entrance, sometimes as a relationship that opens a door. The Bible consistently emphasizes wisdom over shortcuts. God's way is often slower than people want, but it is usually more sustainable. If you're serious about breaking financial stagnation, here are 4 practical steps to take this month. First, pray specifically, not vaguely. Ask God for wisdom, direction, favor, and discernment. Second, review your finances honestly. Know exactly what comes in and what goes out. Third, improve one income-producing skill. Read, study, practice, take a course, learn something valuable. Fourth, look for one way to be generous, not because you're trying to buy a blessing, but because generosity reflects God's character. These actions may seem simple, but simple biblical principles practiced, consistently, can produce powerful results over time. Financial stagnation is frustrating. It can test your faith. It can create anxiety. It can make you wonder whether God sees your situation. But Scripture reminds us that God is aware of every need. And while the Bible does not promise instant wealth, it does provide wisdom for financial growth. Remember the 3 biblical keys. Examine your stewardship. Combine prayer with diligent action. Practice generosity with the right motives. These principles won't necessarily change everything overnight, but they can change the direction of your life. And sometimes a change in direction is the beginning of a breakthrough. As you move through this month, ask God for wisdom. Manage faithfully what He has already placed in your hands. Work diligently. Remain generous. Trust Him one step at a time, because financial progress is rarely built in a moment. It is usually built through faithful decisions, repeated consistently over time, and those faithful decisions, guided by God's wisdom, can eventually break seasons of stagnation and lead you into greater stability, provision, and peace. If this teaching encouraged you, take a moment to reflect on which of these 3 keys you need to apply most right now. And remember, God's goal is not merely to increase your income. His goal is to transform your character, strengthen your faith, and teach you how to steward every blessing He places in your hands. God bless you.